What it is, what it do, cyber world. It is your girl, the one, the only, Ash Said It. AshSaidIt.com, AshSaidIt.com. Welcome to the Ash Said It Daily Podcast Show. I appreciate you guys for all of your love and support. Over 1,600 episodes and 500,000 streams worldwide. None of this would be possible without you guys. So I thank you so very, very much. And yes, May is here and Mother's Day is around the corner. So I know that a lot of you guys are getting stuff set for mom and you're making everything perfect and you're planning breakfast and brunch and all that good stuff. But there are some of us out here whose moms have gone on to a silent home. Mom has gone on to heaven somewhere. And what do we do when Mother's Day is coming around and, we don't really have a mom around? So I've got with me today Executive Director of the Comfort Cub, Liz Sumner. Hey, Liz.
Good morning, Ash. Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much for joining us, Liz. Now, where in the country are you today, Liz?
Good question. I am in San Diego, California, the north part of the city, but yep, I'm in Southern California.
Ooh, beautiful California. I mean, I envy you right now, Liz. All right, that beautiful weather out there.
I am looking out at a nice day, and things are blooming, so that's really nice.
That's always a good thing. Always a good thing. All right, so Liz, for people that are unaware, they don't know, what is the Comfort Cub?
Great. Well, the Comfort Cub is actually sort of a one-of-a-kind a bear that was created by a mother who had a child loss. Our founder, Marcella, was having a very difficult time. She had a very sad situation. Her baby, George, was born and died in the same day. And it was a very traumatic event, and she found herself with this terrible sensation of aching arms and of really, like her chest ached, her arms ached from not having this baby to hold, and she found herself carrying around weighted objects, flower pots, pineapples, different things that would kind of bring some comfort. And then eventually she found that a teddy bear that was weighted and was about 4 pounds, was manufactured and is now distributed. Actually, there are Comfort Cubs all over the world on every continent. So it's considered a therapeutic weighted teddy bear, and the carrying or holding this very special bear creates this kind of a gentle pressure against you when you hold it, and it actually triggers our natural hormones that create a sense of calm and a sense of well-being and helps to slow your breathing. And later, Marcella came to find out that this very difficult pain that she was experiencing, and actually like a chest pain, is actually a medical condition called Takotsubo syndrome. Kind of a mouthful, but that there actually is a medical condition that is kind of a manifestation of trauma or acute grief. And so we found over the years that holding this weighted bear has actually helped to relieve that medical syndrome, which people experience with trauma or acute grief. So it's a very, very special bear, initially for women who had lost a child, but has now been extended to be therapeutic in many, many different situations, including what we're talking about today for those folks who have lost a mother, whether it's as a child or as an adult. Losing your mother, particularly in this situation, can really be a very long-term, kind of a chronic sorrow, so to speak.
Definitely. Now, Liz, we talked offline about how we both actually, we lost our mothers. And, equally, both situations different, but it's a pain. It's like a void that's in your heart that just will kind of always be there. Nothing can ever fill that void. But I know that there are a lot of women out today. I'm a part of several different forums and groups online of women that have lost their mom due to the pandemic, due to just life and things that have been going on. Talk a little bit about how you dealt with the loss of your mom.
Yeah, so my mom, her name was Rita, and she died quite young in her early 50s from breast cancer, and I was in nursing school at the time. And so what I discovered very quickly was that I had no one in my peer group who had been through this before, and so I felt very isolated and very kind of abnormal and kind of off by myself in a sense that I didn't have anybody that could relate to my situation.
Yeah.
And very quickly came to realize that the milestones that we incorporate our mothers into, or they help us with, or what have you, that those milestones came quickly to me. I think it was at Thanksgiving. So we had our first string of holidays immediately after she died, and then my college graduation was probably the next big one in a few months. And so for me, it was really kind of, running head into this series of milestones that I would not have my mother with me. And that was, and I'm sure for anyone, regardless of where you are in your life, we all continue to have milestones as our lives unfold, whether it's, small things or big things, life events. So I think that was what hit me right away. And then also just this sense of, it was really kind of took the wind out of my sails. I think it was frightening to think about a life without my mom. What was I going to do? How could I learn? I just didn't, I felt like I didn't have enough time.
Yeah.
And one thing that I would really love to suggest to other people in this situation, regardless of, as I said, of your age, is to allow yourself the permission to welcome or accept the mother love that comes from other women in your life. No one will ever replace our own mother, and it's not to do that, but it's really to realize that there is a wisdom from other women, other mothers, even other elders that haven't had children. I found that when I was open to that, the first few years after that, there were friends' mothers or other friends' elders who really just showered me with so much love or took me under their wing. And I found that they helped as sort of surrogate sources of wisdom and such over the years until their death, late into their 80s or 90s. So it really is a lovely thing if you can just open yourself, give yourself a little permission to welcome that wisdom from other women in your life.
Yeah, definitely. And thank you so much for sharing about that, because it's one of those things that it just tugs at your heart and you don't know until you actually go through it. And my situation was slightly similar because I didn't have anyone in my peer group that had gone through it. And it was just like, this is just, this is a shock. It's a stunner. And for me, I spent the better half of maybe 2.5 years of just avoiding grief, avoiding my feelings, tucking it up into a suitcase somewhere, stuffing it and pushing it back to the closet, not dealing with it until it overflowed one day. And I had to go and just seek help. And going and talking to a counselor, grief counseling, was very beneficial for me because it honestly just put everything into perspective, and the healing process can start to begin. Because if you're ignoring it or you're pretending that it's not what it is, you're not dealing in reality. You're not. You're really not. And the moment that I come to the realization of, yes, my mom is gone, but she left me with so many amazing, just a bountiful of memories and wisdom and just greatness that, it would be, it wouldn't serve her legacy anything good if I was to just sit and just keep it to myself, So I share a lot of this stuff. So I always empower people and really engage. And then when I spoke with Marcella on our, last time I had Comfort Cub on the show, I shared a bit about my story, and then she sent me a Comfort Cub. And I was so over the moon. I was like, oh my gosh, I love this little guy. You know.
And didn't you, I mean, as soon as you held it, didn't you realize, boy, this is not just like a cute little teddy bear or something. It's very different sensation.
He is, and I love him. Every morning I pick him up, I give him a little hug, little stug, you know, he's sitting up there watching Game of Thrones with me, everything. So
Yep.
we just have a good old time, and it's just it's not a replacement, but it is comfort. It gives your heart a sense of comfort, a sense of love, and that is what I'm hoping for a lot of the women, the daughters out there, the motherless daughters that are listening, that are dealing with their first Mother's Day without their mom. You will get through it.
You know, and you will get through it, and it's like each of these kind of things is to, I think, one word of wisdom may be to try not to anticipate all those things at once, because it feels like an avalanche, is to try to focus on things one at a time.
Yeah.
And, you know, whatever, like you suggested, which I think is such a lovely recommendation, I, too, got help. And I think that some people think, oh, counseling is for people who, you know, have this is a real life crisis.
Yeah,
and
it is.
Whether you're at peace with how she died, or it was very problematic, whether your relationship was great or complicated, it is important to have someone outside of your family or immediate friend group that can help to be a sounding board for you and help you to feel that what you're feeling is quite normal, but to help you kind of navigate through this unfamiliar territory. And I think it's important. And I think it's also helpful to give ourselves permission to get through it in ways that are comforting. Sometimes, as I'm sure you probably did after your mom's death, is if you feel like you just can't participate in anything, it's okay. Give yourself permission. You know what? I'm going to avoid the card aisle at the grocery store. Sometimes, you know, and early on, it's important to just honor that. If the tenderness is just too raw, it's okay to make private time for yourself, or let people know I'm just going to, you know, kind of sit this one out on the sidelines. And then over time, sometimes I found that it helped me to find healing if I could acknowledge, like, say, those women who had helped me after my mom's death. I would acknowledge them.
Right.
A lot of my own family elders had died. I lost quite a few of them in a short amount of time. But to be able to thank those people for their mother love or their wisdom is really kind of nice. It helps bring healing, and it acknowledges the gift they've provided. And, you know, find a way for yourself to feel at peace. Maybe there's some little ritual or thing that you do to kind of calm yourself that day, or like you just suggested, there are so many lessons that we sometimes only learn in retrospect, the gifts or the lessons that our mothers have taught us, or the example, and to be able to draw upon that over time is really a gift. To just sit and think about the things that you're thankful for. Maybe write them down, you know, start a journal, or do something for yourself that day, you know, going outside or being with a friend who's understanding, or doing something just, you know, different.
Yeah.
It took me until I had my own children, which was many years after my mom's death, that was really the first time I think that I was able to kind of reframe and restructure what Mother's Day meant, and to then draw upon that wisdom in a whole different way of thinking of them as a mother now that you're a mother.
Right.
So, in finding a community of other women who've been through this, I know you shared there's different resources and Facebook things and Instagram. There's also, if I can say, there's probably one of the best books I ever read that helped me was Hope Edelman's book, Motherless Daughters, and her recent one is about the long arc of loss, of grief, was so helpful. Even years and years after my mom died, it was helpful to read and hear, oh, other people felt that. Or, you know, it was really interesting. So there are others of us out there, and sometimes when you acknowledge that, like I always like to do it, I love to ask, like, what was her name? Tell me your mom's first name. Yeah. And that just saying there isn't with us, my children never ever met my mom, of course, but they still know about Grammy Rita, and I've tried to preserve some legacy of presence, as my life unfolds, so that she does exist in my memory, but also as she was a real person in my life that my girls can at least have some familiarity with.
Yeah, no, I'm absolutely all the way with you on that one, and preserving, saying their name. My mother was Donna Teresa, and I talk about her all the time, and some days I may be able to just talk about her and just talk about all the great stuff, and then some days my eyes well up with tears, because I miss her so much, but I don't want to just completely comb over the mothers in my life that are my friends, my aunties, my cousins that are, they're doing either, they're just really being great moms, and I want to honor them. And I think that another way that you can do is, as far as like honoring those mothers, is doing something special for them, even if that's you just dropping a card in the mail for Mother's Day, or going in and picking up a bouquet of flowers, or sending them a Comfort Cub.
Exactly. I think because that is actually it's a wonderful. We've got to trying to get the message out lately, which again the Comfort Cub was so much synonymous with child loss, and it is an exceptional comfort to women who really yearn to be able to hold their child again. But the Comfort Cub also is I think it's kind of a hug dispenser, and you can have those kind of hugs at any time, and we have a message we're trying to send out now that in honor of your mother, you can make a donation to the Comfort Cub, or even honoring a friend who's a mother. I've actually done that myself. That I made a donation in honor of my very dear friend who's a wonderful mother, and I made a donation in her honor. And I've also sent cubs to people who are great mothers, because they can certainly feel the love from the Comfort Cub, as well as their kids can get hugs from that Comfort Cub as well. But it's also a nice way to honor either your mother that is alive by making a donation in their honor, or in honor of someone who has died. But we have been seeing a lot of people calling in or ordering online, gifting them to other people, which is really special for all kinds of, for a birthday, or just an anniversary, or something kind of special, because it really isn't just about grief or death, but they can help with anxiety or just the isolation that we've all experienced during COVID. And there have been so many people who've lost people during this whole episode as well. So I would encourage you to, check out our website at www.thecomfortcub.org, and you can look into ways to support us, to make a donation, but also to consider who might benefit from receiving one, and order one as a gift, or even anonymously. But they definitely, I've had one around for many, many years, and if this was a video, you'd see how, I have to keep fluffing him up, because he gets, mine gets a lot of hugs and gives a lot of hugs.
Yeah. They're so sweet. I love it.
And and I love, really, I think when you've found some healing along the way in this, and grief is about healing, and it's about finding a way to preserve someone's presence in your life that isn't only bound with sadness. Right. And so I think that being able to say their name, or to, use that opportunity, your loss, you get the opportunity to honor someone else's mothering, like you said. I think that's so, so lovely. Yeah. To acknowledge someone else as being a good mother, or that you can appreciate being with them because they bring you joy. Right. I think that's a really lovely thing. We all need to be affirmed that we're doing a good job.
Yeah. And, with everything, like you said, with everything that's happened in the last year for all of us, I think some of us, everyone needs a little bit more reaffirm, and some good vibrations and some good vibes, and that's what those that's what those guys do.
Absolutely, to kind of, lift each other up.
Yeah.
And we can all, it isn't just such a cliche thing, that really small acts of kindness and compassion really, really go a long way. And you just never know. Maybe that was the day they really, really needed it. I had reached out to someone on our wait list, and I was emailing to see if they still wanted one. I was going to be able to send them one. And this woman emailed me back just saying, "You have no idea. This is the perfect day. I needed to hear this so badly, and I'm so thrilled you can send me one." And it just came upon a perfect day that I randomly reached out.
Yeah.
So, like you said, we can all benefit from a little kindness and tenderness and a lot of listening.
Absolutely.
Just listening to each other is a gift.
I believe that to be true. Liz, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you, Ash. Thank you so much, and acknowledge all the current mothers, mothers who have gone beyond us, and those who continue to give us love and life and wisdom. We will be honoring all of you this weekend, and I'm really grateful. We'll be thinking of you and your mother, Donna, Ash, as it comes this weekend as well.
Thank you so much. Liz, let everyone know again, what's the best way to get in contact with you guys and to follow you?
Yeah, so we are available. We're on Facebook and Instagram. The Comfort Cub is our is where you'll find us, and the website is www.thecomfortcub.org. And you can also, through the website, you can email us questions, you can place orders, you can find information, and feel free. We're a very small nonprofit, so I see all the emails that come in, and I'm happy to also, help with resources or what have you to help you along your way.
I love it. Liz, thank you so much for joining us. And yes, while you might be a quote-unquote small nonprofit, you guys have big hearts. All right, so you're making a huge difference
so much, Ash.
Everywhere. Love you guys.
Thank you so much.
Not a problem. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much for all of your love and support. Keeping in mind, anyone to tell you that you can't do what you want to do. You look them square in the face. You tell them, don't believe me. Just watch. Watch what I do. Watch me make it happen. Watch me make history. That's what we're doing this for, the history books. Social media is nice, but real life is so much better. Until next time, you guys.